Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'm going to do some work on this elm, well, how should we call that? It's tree clumps planted as a kind of forest, I don't know, well, something like that. So the first thing I want to do in this forest, and it's quite urgent to start this, is to graft some branches, especially on this tree and maybe one on this tree, because, well, there's not a hole going on here, and well, I don't see any buds that are swelling there, so I think we'll have to give Mother Nature a little hand and start by doing that. So therefore I'm going to use a 2mm drill first to make the hole, and then make it a little larger with a 4mm drill. And before we go any further into detail, I'd like to explain how I'm going to drill this. So I'm going to drill the holes like they the way they should come out. So you see, if you want the branch coming here, I'm going to drill like so, and I'm going to use this angle, because if you drill horizontally, you will have a horizontal branch, and if you see at the angle that these branches form when they're natural, well, they are not going this way, they are going this way. So this is something we must keep in mind. So let's start with this trunk, and then we'll go on with this one. So thread grafting is really easy. Problem is that I'm just maybe a few days late to do it, because the buds are swelling now, and so first a little turn like so your drill won't slip away too much. Well, that's a hole. Now a bigger drill bit, like so. And now I'm going to put this branch in the hole. Going to zoom in a little. So of course, on the branch that I want to insert, I just left one branch, and the problem is this bud that is already swelling, so I think it's going to be very hard to put it through without damaging it. Yep, so I'll have to be sure that the entrance of this hole is nice and open. I'll have to cut away some of the chipped bark. So there goes the bud. It's very sad, of course, but okay, there will be probably new buds that I do not damage. And if it fails, well, it fails. That's all we can say. Okay. So this is supposed to be the new branch. There's a bud here and one little one at the bottom, which is not ideal, but it will keep the branch alive, so that's good. Next one. So on this portion there's absolutely no growth, and that's not good. So what I want to do is maybe put this one here and put a branch from the tree next door here, something like that. So let's drill a few holes. I'm going to drill this one at the side, back, something like that. And the other one, almost same direction. So the holes are drilled and made them a little larger, so now I'm going to try to stick these guys through the holes. This is something I will have to cut off because, well, it's going to be too big. It's been a problem this year because it was cold a long time. And then suddenly it became very warm. We went from 5 degrees Celsius to 15, 20. And yeah, well, wasn't sure what I could do. And now of course all the buds are swelled, and yeah, that's living with nature, I guess. Okay, we'll see. If it's not working this year, it will be next year. And of course you can make a bigger hole, but it's gonna take ages before it closes then. So yeah, some people would seal this off with paste or something. I don't use these things, so that's gonna be it. Now before I repot this tree, I'm going to have a look at what I should keep, what I should cut off, and I'm going to take a whole lot back, only keeping what is going in the right direction, what is interesting, and excuse me, also looking at what is logical. Don't keep heavy branches in the top and things like that. So of course the grafts I cannot cut anything. These elm trees, they have on each branch alternating buds, you know, and it's very easy to see where they will grow, in what direction. So that's something we must keep in mind and use, of course. This is supposed to be a top, but it's quite thin, and this is quite thick and long. Here in the back I have this branch that should become a top, but it's very thin, so I'm not going to cut anything here. So I guess you see what I'm doing, so I'll come back when every little cut is made. So trimming is done. As you see, everything is a little shorter. The outer buds were removed so that we have more ramification, and the real long portions, straight and not very interesting, are also trimmed back. So it's time to get the tree out of the pot now. So first I'm going to remove the moss, and then we see what we have regarding the roots. So here we go. I'm going to try and understand what's going on. Are these tree clumps already, yeah, quite fused together? So this might be a little difficult to get this out. And that's okay. Okay, it grew well, but not massively. I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot about this. So this will be a repot-lite. But what I'm going to do is have a look at the surface roots to see if we don't have crossing roots or multiple layers. And maybe get some of the outer part raked out. So that we can work on the radial root pattern. I don't think there's going to be a big problem at this clump, but I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me zoom in. So I don't know what's going on here. Well, there are not a lot of roots, so I'm surely not going to disturb this one. Okay. Here is a root growing to the side, so if I could just push it a little more in that direction, would be better. There's a little root growing on top here. I'm going to remove that. So all the roots are raked out now, and well, some of these guys they took a walk, and these are the ones I'm going to cut back, but I'm not going to disturb the rest of the roots. And by cutting the long ones back, we will redistribute the vigor. And then next year we'll do a full repot maybe. So this is fairly easy. And the tree won't notice. The pot is prepared, and I'm going to put the tree in the pot now, almost the way that it was. It's going to be almost the same view. Put the big one in the front. these ones, I like to have this one kind of straight and this a little more to the side, but also straight. So I will add some soil here. But first of all, I'm going to make sure that every soil particle that is already in here is nicely in position, and maybe I'm going to loosen it up a little so that thin particles can run through. But I think this is going to be it. So I'm going to put some more substrate in it and maybe try to show more of the surface roots. While I'm putting some new soil in it, I'm also removing little particles of moss to be sure that the bark stays in condition. Should not get wet all season. Moss is nice, but can be problematic. Soil is now worked in very nicely, and I don't think I'm going to add more soil because I want to have a look at these roots and maybe have them harden up and thicken a little. So I'm not going to do a whole lot here, except maybe remove some of the soil on top of the thick roots so that I can enjoy the nice root spread that I'm starting to get. But this is of course something that you do every day while you look at your trees. Just work on the details. No, that's how I do it. So just to add some color, I'm going to position a few pieces of moss, not a lot. Here are no roots, so this is not really an interesting spot. So this one is coming here, and one here in the back, but just a little one. And I think that's gonna be it. So this concludes the work on this tree. We made a few grafts, a light repot, and see still some detail work to do here. But like I said, this is for me part of the joy of doing bonsai, just by doing some little things every day and making it look better while I look at the trees. So this is the result. Thank you for watching and see you next time.